Hello and welcome to our 55th session, and in this session we are going to debug an old Unity Asset Store game and update it to Unity 6.3. The very first problem we all face with many of the games available on Unity Asset Store or when we import it from our older version is regarding the input system. So it doesn't support the new input system. We are going to take a game which is built similar to our Clicky Crates game which we developed in our previous session. Based on the same principle, we have another new game, Wack, and we are going to convert this game from our old system which has lot of bugs also. We are going to remove all the bugs and convert it into the new system. As usual, let us first launch our Unity Hub, and in the Hub, come into the Projects panel. Now we are going to start with a new project. Click on New Project, and in the template select Universal 3D SRP. Come here into the project name, and I am now going to call this project as Wack_food. In eUnity project, click on Create Project. Now as the project is getting loaded, come to your YouTube video page or the e-learning page, and if you scroll down in the description, if you click on More, you are provided with a Patreon link. Click on this Patreon link. This will bring you to the Junior Programmer Series Patreon page. Scroll down. You are provided with this 56 Wack_start.unity package file. Click on this file to download it. If required, download Satvik_layout.wlt file. Once Unity is launched, come into the project panel, select the Readme file, come into the inspector and click on Remove Readme Asset, and in the confirmation window, click on Proceed. We also doesn't need this input system_action file. Right click and choose Delete, and in the confirmation window, click Delete. If your screen layout does not match the layout that you are seeing in this video, then come to the top right corner and in this layout panel choose Satvik. If Satvik is not available, go to Load Layout from File, and from the list select Satvik_layout.wlt file and click on Open. In the project window, come into Asset, right click and choose Import Package Custom Package. Now in your download folder, you can see this 56 Wack_start.unity package file which you downloaded just now. Select it and click Open. In the Import Unity Package dialog box, see that all is selected and click on the Import button. Now once it is imported, you have a folder here called as challenge file, and if you open it, you have one scene file called as challenge file. Double click to open it. Come into File and choose Save As, and in your Wack_food assets, come to the scenes folder and call this as Wack_a_food and click on Save. Now come into the scenes panel here, select this sample scene. We don't need it. Right click and choose Delete, and in the confirmation window choose Delete. You are not seeing any text here because if you come here into the canvas, select any of the text option. For example, if I select score text, you will immediately see this pop-up TMP importer. TMP Essentials is not yet installed in our Unity version. Click on Import TMP Essentials, and if required, click on Import TMP Examples and Extras. Close the TMP importer channel, and you should also close Unity and again restart it. Now you can see the text is available, and you can come into the game panel and instead of free aspect, select Full HD 1920 into 1080 here. Now the very first issue we have here is the button texts are not correctly aligned. So for that, I will come into the hierarchy. You have the UI element canvas, open it, and you have the score text which is on the left hand side here. It is aligned to the left. Along the Y axis, I will move it by -100, little to the down, and along the X, I will move it by 400, and I will come into this title screen, open it, and you have easy button. I will open it, and you have text. I will press F2 and I will rename this as easy text. And coming into the inspector here, if I scroll down, it is aligned wrongly. I will use center align in both horizontal and vertical. And also I will set its font size to 36. Then similarly, now I will close easy button, open medium button, select text, press F2. I will call this as medium text. I will come into the inspector, and in alignment, it is already central aligned. Horizontally, vertically also I will align it in center and set its size to 36. Now I will close medium button, open hard button, select text, press F2, I will call this as hard text, and again here align horizontally center and vertically center, and set the font size to 36 and press enter. Okay, now our title screen is looking good. I will select this title screen, and in the inspector I will temporarily off it. Select this GameOver text and on it, so this text is fine. You have restart button, I will switch it on. I will open restart button, select text, press F2, and I will call this as restart text. Inside the canvas, I will right click and I will create an empty object, and I will call this as GameOver. Now I will select this GameOver text, drag it into this GameOver. I will also drag this restart button into this GameOver object, so that restart and GameOver text are inside this GameOver component. I will switch off GameOver. Now if I play the game and if I check it, immediately you are going to see an error. If I click on this, the error is about the input system. You are using the old input system because we are using GetButtonDown function. So I will stop the playback and I will close this console window. If you come into this Challenger Fire script, and here you have various scripts here. If you come into target X and if you double click it, if it asks to trust the author, click on yes, I trust the author. You have a function here, OnMouseEnter. This OnMouseEnter is not going to work with the new input system. After this OnMouseEnter here, I will press enter and I will declare a new public void function, and I will call it as hit. Add open close bracket, press enter, add a open close flower bracket, and inside this flower bracket now I select all the options present inside the mouse enter. I will right click and I will cut it from here, come into hit, and I am going to paste it. Now I will select this entire mouse enter function and I will remove it. I will also remove this comment and I will put a new comment, method to be called when mouse is clicked. I will go to file and I am going to save this. So now what we have done is, whatever action needed to be carried out when we click with the mouse on mouse click or mouse enter, we have converted this entire action into a public method called hit, and it is in the targetx.cs file. I am going to come into the GameManagerX.cs file, and to implement the new input system, we are going to use a method called as Raycast. It is a ray that moves from the camera to the point where you touch the screen or the mouse is clicked. So for that, in this game manager, I will come to the top, and after declaring all these variables, after this private float mini value y, I will press enter and I am going to add 2 forward slashes, create a variable to add reference to your camera to Raycast. I am going to now declare a private, the type of this variable is camera, and I am going to call this as main cam and end it with semicolon. I will scroll down, and after this restart game, and I will add 2 forward slashes, I am going to create a method that is going to define the new input system that works on both mouse and touch. I will come in the next line, add 2 forward slash, and now I am going to define the logic. When the user taps or clicks mobile, then equals greater than sign, it is going to raycast a ray from the camera. I will add equals greater than sign, check if a target is hit, then equals greater than sign. It is going to call hit function from the target x script. So I will press enter, and I am now going to declare a private void function, and I will call it as HandlePointerTap, add open close bracket, press enter, add open close flower bracket, and inside this flower bracket now, when the mouse or the pointer is clicked, I want that position. So for that I will declare a vector2 variable and I am going to call this as screen position and end it with semicolon. I will press enter and I am going to declare a boolean pressed this frame, and this initial value I will set it to false. Now we are seeing this yellow line because we have declared this variable but we have never used it. I will press enter and first I am going to define the touch interaction in case of mobile. If touch screen period current, if it is not equal to null, and I will add two ampersand signs, touch screen current, and I am going to call the primary touch, I will call press was press this frame function. I will press enter, add open close flower bracket, and inside the flower bracket press this frame, this value to be equal to true. I am going to call my screen position equal to touch screen current. I will call primary touch, call the position parameter, call the function read value, add open close bracket and end it with semicolon, reading the value of the place where the mouse is pressed and it is attached to this screen position. I will press enter and I will add two forward slashes, test for mouse interaction in PC. If mouse period current it is not equal to null and ampersand sign, mouse period current period left button was pressed this frame, then I will press enter, add open close bracket. I will write this as else if set my press this frame value to be equal to true semicolon, and then I am going to call my screen position equal to mouse period current period set position, read its value, add open close bracket and end it with semicolon. Wherever the mouse is pressed, that value is assigned to my screen position. And if both these conditions are not met, then I will press enter and add else space. You are going to return. Here we have detected whether the mouse is pressed or the tap is done. After this, press enter. If I am going to check pressed this frame, if it is false, I have added exclamation mark, which means that if pressed this frame is false, it will just return. Nothing after this is going to get executed. But only if pressed this frame is true, then if call my main camera, its value exclamation equals null, means it is not null, then I am going to assign my main cam variable to my camera.main and end it with semicolon. If add open close bracket, main cam add two equal signs, because this is not assignment, this is comparison. If it is null, then just return, add semicolon. I am going to declare another type of variable called ray. I will call it as ray with small letter r equal to my main cam period. I will call the function screen point to ray and add open close bracket and end it with semicolon, and where this ray should focus, it should focus on my screen position that we have set at the top here. Press enter. I will add a comment in 3D physics Raycast for your collided target. I will call if, and inside if I will call the physics period, I will call Raycast and add open close bracket, and in this the first parameter I will add is my ray variable which I have declared above, comma, I will set out, call Raycast hit. This is a kind of variable and I am going to call it as hit, which h small letter, and I will set its value to around 1000 f. This is along the z axis, and I will press enter, add open close flower bracket, and now inside this flower bracket call my target script which I have declared target X. I am going to call this type of variable and I am going to call it simply as T, and it will be equal to my hit collider with whichever object is hit, its collider object. I am going to get its component, add lesser than greater than sign, and the component is my target X script. Add open close bracket, and here if it is in the parent I will get the target directly, or I will add two question mark. I will again call this hit collider, and this time I will call get component in parent, add lesser than greater than sign, and inside this I will call my target X script, add open close bracket and end it with semicolon. I will press enter. If this T is not equal to null, then I will come out of the bracket, add open close bracket, and inside this I am going to call my T, and in that I have created a function called hit. I will add open close bracket and end it with semicolon. This completes our complete handle pointer tap message, and I have to now call this function. Where am I going to call it? Move it into my update function. I am not seeing update here, so I will come down, and after this handle pointer tap I will press enter and I will call the update function, and here I am going to call this function handle pointer tap, add open close bracket and end it with semicolon. Now go to file and save this, and then I am seeing a red mark here because if I scroll up in line number 15 there is a line public button restart button. So this has an issue, so I will select this line and delete it, and then if I scroll down in GameOver we have called this restart button. So I will just select this entire line and delete it. Now go to file and save this. Now I will come back to Unity, allow the script to compile. I will just select this GameOver screen and in the inspector I will hide it. Now if I play the game and if I check it, see again I am getting this error, input handling error. If I stop the playback, in the imported project we have an event system, but this event system is from the old event system. So if you come here in the inspector you can see here, replace it with input system UI input module. It is already asking me, so I can just click on this button to replace. Now once it is replaced, now one change we did in the UI is we actually created an empty game object called GameOver, and inside it we placed GameOver text and restart button. For this to work, I am going to come into my GameManagerX script file, and we had declared a public text mesh row UGUI GameOver text. I am going to select this. We had also declared a restart button that we have already deleted it. I will delete this line. I am now going to declare a public. This is a type of GameObject, and I am going to call this as GameOver and end it with semicolon. I will scroll down, and when actually the game starts, I am going to call this GameOver GameObject, and I will set active. I will set it to active. I will set this to false, and then if I scroll down, then I will scroll down to this GameOver method. I am, instead of GameOver text here, I select it and I will replace it with GameOver period SetActive. I am going to set its value to true and end it with semicolon. Now I will save this, come back to Unity, allow the script to compile, and now if I select Game Manager, you have a new GameOver component here. I will drag my GameOver from the canvas and attach it here. Now I will go to file, save it. Now if I play the game and if I check it, see now I doesn't have any error regarding the input system. The input system is fine, and I have the Wack effort and this title screen, I click on any one of the button. For example, I click on easy. Now the spanning has happened, but suddenly the spanning starts and you are seeing the game over. Again I press restart. There is another bug which is not destroying the object. I will again stop the playback, and before continuing, I want to come into the scripts, select this GameManagerX script, double click to open it, and I am now going to convert this script into a singleton script. So for more efficiency, it is better to convert this game manager type of script into singleton script. How are we going to convert it? I will come inside this GameManagerX mono behavior. In the first line, I will press enter, and I am going to call this public. Static is the keyword that we use to make it accessible or make it an singleton script. Call this GameManagerX, and I will give it a name instance, add open close flower bracket, and inside this I will set its permission, get semicolon, then private set semicolon. I will then scroll down, and after this private camera main cam, I press enter, and as of now in this script I doesn't have the awake code block. So I will type awake, and I am going to select this awake function, and inside this function now I will add a comment. I am doing this to convert it into a singleton. This means we need not use game manager find to find this script. Call if, and I am going to check for the condition. This instance is not equal to null, and add to ampersand signs. Instance is not equal to this. I will come out of this bracket, add open close flower bracket. In that case, I want this to destroy open close bracket, end it with semicolon. This entire game object, I want it to be destroyed, and below that I will call for my return function and end it with semicolon. I will press enter, and I am going to call instance is equal to this and end it with semicolon. I will also call my main cam and make it equal to my camera dot main and end it with semicolon. If you scroll down in our HandlePointerTap, we had added this. Instead of here adding not equal to null, I will make it equal to null. Now in other scripts where I have called this GameManagerX, for example, I will come to destroy object X and see here we are not calling this. I will come to difficulty button, and you can see here we have declared private GameManagerX. I will delete this line. I doesn't need in start to declare or use this game manager find. This is not required. I will delete this line, and directly wherever I want to access this function, I can come in set difficulty here, and directly I can call my GameManagerX spirit instance, and in that I can now call my start game function, add open close bracket and end it with semicolon. So I will save my difficulty button X file, and finally in target X also, if I scroll up, we have declared this GameManagerX. This is not required. I am going to delete it, and if you scroll down in start, I doesn't need this GameObject find. This is not required. I will delete this. I will remove this extra line. Then if I move in hit, instead of calling this GameManagerX is gameActive, I will call my GameManagerX directly, call instance, and in that I am going to call is gameActive. Similarly, even here in update score, I am going to select this line, delete it. I will call my GameManagerX spirit instance spirit. Now I will call the update score, add open close bracket, and the parameter I am going to give here is the point value. And if I scroll down, we are using one more place. It is in on trigger enter. I will call GameManagerX spirit instance, and in that I am now going to call my GameOver function, add open close bracket and end it with semicolon. And even here in remove object routine, I will select this sentence. Again here I will call GameManagerX, and spirit I will call it instance, and in that I am going to call is gameActive. And there is somewhere one error. If I move up, okay, in this after this update score point value, I have forgotten to add semicolon. Now also in this targetx.cs file, we had declared a private rigid body RB. This is not required. I will delete it and come into start and delete this RB get component rigid body. I will remove this extra line. For better performance, I will also add one private bool variable and call it as alreadyHit, and I will set its initial value to false and end it with semicolon. Next, I will come into this public void hit. In the first line, if, and inside this, I will call this alreadyHit function, and if it is true, it will return. It is not going to perform hit again. After this, I will test one more condition. If we have this GameManagerX.Instance, and if this instance equal to null, that is if it is empty, or I will add two parallel lines. The two parallel lines, you get it above the enter button in your keyboard. Then I will call exclamatory sign and call this GameManagerX.Instance is gameActive. This means that if game is not active, then return, end it with semicolon. I will set the value of alreadyHit equal to true and end it with semicolon. I will copy this GameManagerX.Instance update score point value, and after alreadyHit I will paste it. I will take this destroy game object also, I will cut it above and paste it, and I will delete this enter if GameManagerX.Instance active. That is not required. And also here I forgot to add one more function here, which is explode, add open close bracket and end it with semicolon. Now I will leave everything as it is, go to file, and I am going to save this. Now I will also come into this GameManagerX and I will rearrange these codes a little. After this GameManagerX.Instance, I will press enter, add open close square bracket. I am going to add a header, add open close bracket, and inside this I will call this as UI settings. In my inspector, this will be useful for this target prefab. After this title screen, I will press enter. I will add open close square bracket, and again I will call a header here, and in open close bracket here this I will call it as GameObjects. You have one span rate. I will leave it as it is. You have the int score. After score, I am going to declare one more private float, and I will call this as baseSpawnRate, and I will set its initial value to 1.5f. I will end it with semicolon. I will add open close bracket, and I want this value to be controlled by inspector. So I will call the keyword serialize field, so that although it is private, it will be available in my inspector. Then I have float span rate, and this value I am not going to set it here. Then I have is gameActive boolean and also my score. Then below this you have the spanning of the board. So I will press enter, add open close square bracket, and here again I will call the header, add open close bracket, and inside this in inverted comma board span controls. Now in case of the start game, we have an issue here with the span rate. Span rate I have not set it correctly, so we are going to correct this. So I will come inside the start game and I will add an integer and I will call this as difficulty. This difficulty level should not be 0. So I will add if, and inside this I will check the difficulty level, and if it is less than or equal to 0, then I am going to set this difficulty level to equal to 1 and end it with semicolon. And in this span rate, instead of mentioning the number like this, I will make this span rate equal to my base span rate, and I am going to divide it by my difficulty number, and I will end it with semicolon. And one other issue we have here is, if you come into update score, we are updating the score with the score to add, but in score text.txt it is simply showing score. So this score, I will add a colon, leave a gap, add one plus sign, and I am going to call the score, and this will display the score correctly. Now I will save this. You can see the difficulty button X has turned red, because if you come to difficulty button, we are calling start game here, and now we have added a parameter, and the parameter here that I have to add is the difficulty number, which we have declared public int here. Now I will go to file and save this. Now if I come back to Unity, allow the script to compile, and then if I now play the game and if I check it, see now the score is empty, but if I click on easy here, the score is 0, and as I tap, you can see the score is increasing. See, it is increasing. If I delay to click it, you see the game over screen, and I can restart it. So this game is now working fine, and with this we are going to conclude this session. We have totally debugged this old system of this game and have converted it to a new system. And one additional thing we want to add is we want to add a timer, so that you have a 60 seconds or 30 seconds timer, and once the timer is over, the game over should come. And this logic we are going to implement it in our next session.